think there is something unique about the summer period, and I felt this for many decades, that there is this kind of, it's cricket time, it's long, it's beach, particularly our part of the world, and so people wind down a little. They tend to feel like they've got more time, and it tends to be the time where they'll sit on a veranda and drink a beer and talk, and so that moment seems to be an ideal opportunity for us to inject in the conversation on the veranda with the beer. What do you think about eternal issues? What do you think about the things of Christ, and so on? So as a church, we determined from the beginning to work out when are the best opportunities to inject the gospel into people's conversation. When are the best times to go fishing? And the best times to go fishing are not the times that are convenient with us, they're the times the fish like. And the fish in our country like summer, particularly Christmas, that kind of December, January period. So we determined at that very early stage to not let anyone have holidays on staff. I never took holidays through January, February, to make sure that we were ramping church up to make it particularly relevant and accessible for people who are puzzling, who are wondering. I mean, that's the time someone's thinking, I might stick my head in and look at church. Whereas for many in my culture of church life, that was a time all our ministers went away on holidays. So the person who just wants to stick their head in, sticks their head in, and there's nothing to see. You know, the kids' ministry's gone, everything's gone. And so we've worked hard to progressively ramp that up. And so most of our mission is geared towards that. Now, what do you do as you come towards thinking about something? I think we, as leaders of church plants, of churches, we've got to think about how we're making the most of that period. You can't do that in November. You've got to have thought of that in June. It's in a very small church context, you might be able to mobilise things quickly. You see, our concern isn't just to put on particular events. It's to get your teams kind of vision motivated, ready to see what's happening. It's to get your preaching program, the kids' work happening, and any other things that you might choose to put on as well. Your own pastoral hospitality visitation through that time is significant. If you put them on in terms of we've got a work thing we've got to come to, people don't like that through the summer period. But if you put it on in terms of, look, let's just get together and enjoy and chat and share, it really is quite liberating and empowering for people. People love it. And so to do work on your core, to do work on the fringe, to do work on new people during that period is also helpful. Because often you've got less midweek meetings. And so as a leader, if I'm full-time, then I tend to have a little bit more space and room through that period to make the most of it. For us, our big kind of momentum for mission starts with carols. So we'll put on a carol service 14th, 15th, 20th December, that kind of period. And then we've got a whole, over the years we've developed a whole kind of progressive funnel into a church experience with us through summer on the weekends, where you'll hear sermons that are more seeker-friendly. So we've often done the big questions things, but we've done that in a context of ramping up from August, the congregation, so that they're actually thinking ready for January, February. They've got friends they're praying for, people they're starting to connect and have conversations with, so that it doesn't just land on them in January that there's this great series and they go, oh, who am I going to invite? I've not thought of anyone, it's too late. And I think too, we're a holiday area. People do holiday and go away, but often less than you might imagine. More and more people do home holidays. It's ministers, it's church planters who need to get out of the house for a holiday. A lot of people just are glad to finish work and be at home. So don't operate with the simple assumption that everyone's quiet. Now, some churches have that, but others obviously not. The more we've put on ministries that people have seen are making a difference and are actually energising for them, the more they've shaped their January around the ministries. So it took us 3, 4, 5 years, but people now shift their holidays to fit in with a lot of the things we do. It's an extraordinary thing.